Thursday. It's still dark, but let me try to show you what went wrong.
Unhook
in our tent
that
last
net.
night. We had a bad rain, so Larry decided we should put our packs at the end of the tent because we're sleeping on an incline, and that was to help us not hit the bottom of the tent. But instead, our packs pushed everything out, and we have a huge puddle in our tent. 2 inches of water, maybe. Everything is wet. Oh, that's good. He's pouring some out. This is a great lesson on what not to do. The joys of living outside, right?
So it is morning. Noah's fully dressed. I'm fully dressed. Our tent is still very wet. They were not so quite lucky. If you start to notice, it looks like there was a tornado who went through with everything in trees and then things on a line. They flooded their tent, so we're gonna be delayed a while. Also, the creek is extremely dirty, muddy. I started that water filtration about 20 minutes ago. So it's taking a long time for that dirty water to make it into the bottle. It sucks. But embrace the suck, right?
All right, it is 9:45, which is really beyond late to be leaving camp. But we've at least made it out of camp with slightly wet gear. My one knee brace, my shoes are dripping wet. Given the time, this might be a really long day. Here's a river crossing, but who cares? I'm already wet, right? So we're starting today with uphill. I think we have 1,000 feet of elevation gain or something like that. We originally planned on going 11 miles with our late start. That's doable. But the problem is that camp seems to have no water. When Larry planned distances, he wasn't looking at water. We looked to see where water was. We have water in 2.5 miles, and then we don't have water for 11 miles after that, or something like that. Because it was a hard rain last night, there might be a runoff. But in 2.5 miles, we have to take as much water as we can carry. And it looks like today, if we want to camp at a camp with water, it might be a 16-mile day. Wow, look at the river. Very glad to have the bridge. Makes it much nicer for crossing this. And one of the downsides of hiking is it hurts the joints. So I just took the ankle brace off of my right ankle so that Kirsten can have it on her left ankle. I can't give up my ankle brace on my left ankle. So I'm down to 2 knee braces, 1 ankle brace. And Kirsten is up to 1 ankle brace, 2 knee braces. Oh, we're tied! It is such a pretty spring day. Oh my goodness, just to be outside and this weather is amazing. And I really can't enjoy a spring day like this without at least thinking of Ryan a little bit. It's probably about 4 and it was springtime. And Ryan was in the car with me. He's like, Mom, I just love snow. Well, we don't get snow every winter in Arkansas, but we had gotten snow that winter before. And I thought Ryan was just remembering sledding, which is what we had done. And I agreed with him and told him I too love snow. Well, then the next time we're in the car, he's talking about snow again. And he's with Grandma in her car. He's talking about snow again. After a while, Grandma and I start comparing notes. And we realize every single solitary time we're in the car, Ryan is just talking about snow. So finally, Grandma's the one that figured it out. She's like, why do you keep talking about snow, Ryan? He's like, because it's snowing. And she's like, I don't see the snow. What are you talking about? He's like, look, Grandma, look at all the trees. They're snow trees. And that's when we realized how many snow trees we have in Arkansas. And we have seen a ton of snow trees on this hike. And so Ryan, yes, I'm thinking of you. And yes, at the age of 18, he even said to me just a couple weeks ago, Mom, it's springtime. There's snow trees again. So in our household, that is the official name, snow trees. Here we are at lunch, making salmon packets with mayo and avocado that we're gonna eat with crackers. And Larry's about to ice his knee, and I am icing my ankle. And Kirsten has already iced her ankle because it's crazy how cold this water is, and I'm hoping that my somewhat swollen ankle will be numb by the time we leave again. And maybe my shoes can dry. That would be a nice bonus. It's after lunch. I've gone about a mile. Tired. When we stopped for lunch, that was the last water source for a long time. So we filled up. I have 2 3/4 liter bottles plus my filter holds another liter. So I'm carrying 5.5 pounds of water. It puts me probably back close to my original weight of 30.5 pounds, which for me is about the max I can do. It's really hard. So I'm feeling super tired. Still have a long way to go today. We might stop earlier than we had originally planned this morning. We have to be off the trail by Thursday. Speaking of which, Larry and I originally planned on continuing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But between my ankle hurting, Larry's knee hurting, and I realized how much work is going to be on me. Payroll is a week from Friday, and I have to do all that review and everything. Monday I'm working in Little Rock, so it's an extra drive. Tuesday I'm interviewing somebody because I still have openings. Wednesday I have the last makeup class and intro to agility. And Thursday I have my repeat class of beginner obedience. Rogue knows all the commands, but he always wants to meet and play with the other dogs. And when he can't, he barks at him and lurches at him. And that's not acceptable behavior in a dog class. So for me to continue, they're requiring me to repeat. Well, I'm not going to have a lot of time. So take pressure off to work over the weekend to try to get my work done. Meantime, I'm awfully tired. Got a lot more miles left. Got about 2.5 more miles to go, and we're taking 5. Helps the ankles, helps the cardio, helps the knees. So while I'm stopped, I thought I should try to talk about today's verse of the day, which is Psalms 18:6. God is my rock, my fortress, and my salvation. The Lord is my rock, my place of protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and the place of safety. I think most of Psalms was written by David. And with all of the military terms, the shield, the fortress, the rock, I'm thinking that it was probably him who was at the time fleeing and running and looking to God for help. And I don't think anything's changed. I mean, no, I'm not persecuted, thankfully. But I really do turn to God for my help, for my protection, for my safety, for my guidance. I just recently reread, it's been a long time since I've read them, The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. Highly recommend if you've never read those books. But in the books, predominantly Lucy is the character that runs and embraces Aslan. Aslan is Jesus, basically. And I love the thought and the image of just being able to run to God for my protection, for my help, for my guidance, and Him breathing His breath of peace on me. I don't know. I guess I just find myself praying a lot and finding myself relying on God. And there are times that I'm worn out and exhausted and afraid and worried. But when all is said and done, I think God's got it. And that's what I just have to remember. We're at the end of day 3. We went, 13 miles today? Is that right?
I don't know.
52 to 65?
65 point something. I found a camp spot and said, okay, I'm stopping. Although I think the campsite that they have on the thing is about 0.2 mile up the road. I said, this is good enough.
Yeah, and we have water here. So we hauled all that extra water thinking it was a dry camp. And it's not, which makes life easier. So we were able to have a hot meal instead of a cold meal to go, which was nice. And we'll be able to have a hot breakfast in the morning. And Kirsten's ankle was really hurting, and Larry's knee was hurting.
So my knee was fine until I walked around to climb in the tent.
And then it locked up. So I'm hoping that joints are a little better tomorrow.
I feel like there's a whole bunch that happened today, but I can't remember what happened.
We got tired.
Saw a lot of pretty stuff.
Oh my goodness, it was. It was very pretty. I really enjoyed the fresh air and the temperature and the beauty around us.
And when we stopped for lunch, it was really nice.
Yeah, that was. And I was able to soak my ankle, and you were able to soak your knee, and Kirsten was able to soak her ankle. And it was like icing it. It was very, very cold.
And we got everything but the tent dried out, the sleeping bag dried out, the soak sheet dried out. Yeah, I've decided I like Fig Newtons. I've gone through all my Fig Newtons. I have 1 left.
2 days, only 1 Fig Newton. Can you make it?
And I have 6 peanut M&Ms left.
Life's rough.
And I ate my brownie bar this evening.
I ate a little bit of it.
The Cliff Brownie bar.
And what do we have for dinner? A sausage something or other.
Spicy sausage and noodles or something.
It wasn't that spicy, but it had good flavor.
Yeah, we did 1,000-foot elevation today. That was hard.
And I went like 32 or 33,000 steps, something like that. Less than yesterday's 40 grand.
We have 19 miles left.
And 2 days to do it. It's time for us to make some Z's. Have a good night. This is a bathtub style tent, which means that this is the bathtub part, and this goes over it. And as long as this part is past this part, we're good. But what we did is push this out with our sleeping bags, leaving a wonderful mesh area for the rain to pour in.